something wrong with her. She's disturbed, she's unhappy, and she thinks it's about feminism and the patriarchy and about abortion. But the reality is she's just not stable. Like the majority of people in Hollywood, they're just not stable human beings.
But you don't seemingly like your own character, so she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat.
It seems like Rachel Zegler just can't catch a break, and it all stems from the highly criticized Snow White remake. Since the film's production began, Rachel has found herself at the center of ongoing controversy. But things have escalated even more recently, with high-profile figures like Candace Owens and Megyn Kelly weighing in. Their verdict? The film flopped because, in their eyes, Rachel is simply too woke.
Rachel Zegler is extraordinarily woke, but she's woke in a way that's quite deranged.
From the rumored tension with Gal Gadot to the painfully empty theater seats, Snow White barely made a dent in Disney's usual box office success. But now things are getting even more heated because Rachel Zegler has finally hit back. And at the top of her list, none other than Candace Owens.
No one on the right side of America can stand the star of this movie.
So how exactly did Rachel Zegler respond? Let's break it down. People were already skeptical about the movie long before it even hit theaters, especially after that now infamous interview where Rachel boldly declared that there's no prince coming to save her and that she'll be the leader she knows she can be. Fans were left asking, wait, did she just throw the entire fairy tale out the window?
Truly is the worst casting, maybe, in the history of the film industry.
People are absolutely heated about the whole feminist angle Disney tried to push with the new Snow White. The internet has been flooded with videos and commentaries, especially from outspoken critics who aren't holding back. The backlash is intense, with many voicing their frustrations over how the story was reimagined.
Her name is Rachel Zegler. Zegler? I don't know. Zegler. There's something wrong with this person. She's also known as the star of Snow White.
Candace Owens didn't hold back when addressing Rachel Zegler and the Snow White reboot. She accused people like Rachel of constantly chasing attention, claiming they'd say outrageous things just to stay in the spotlight. According to Candace, no amount of attention is ever enough for her.
And to constantly say things that are like atrocious because they're looking for attention and they can never have enough of it. They can never have enough of it.
Candace didn't stop there. She went on to say that people like Rachel Zegler constantly say things that are atrocious because they're just looking for attention and can never get enough of it. But she didn't just target the reboot. She also threw shade at the original Snow White story, calling it weird because, in her words, Snow White falls in love with a guy who stalked her. Yikes. That comment alone had many people clutching their nostalgic pearls.
You've told me before that your version of Snow White is different, and it's more of a 2022 version of Snow White. What did you mean by that?
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
Then there's the whole debate around what Candace calls the big bad feminist angle. The criticism is that these modern rewrites are essentially shaming the classic fairy tale dream. The idea of meeting a charming prince, falling in love, and living happily ever after. According to Candace, the new message is, no, don't dream of being rescued. Go be the prince, grab a sword, and fight the dragons yourself. Which, let's be real, not everyone is on board with that shift.
Big bad feminists now are telling us that's ridiculous. How dare you want to meet a handsome prince and be swept off of your feet and live happily ever after? No, you should want to be the prince. You should want to go out and fight the bad guys with a sword.
The rant didn't end there, though. Candace Owens completely called out the idea that feminism now means women should just act like men, think like them, behave like them, and essentially ditch anything that makes being a woman feel unique or special. The vibe was definitely, is this really the win we were fighting for? And here's where it gets even spicier. Candace jumped into the conversation and went off. She didn't hold back, telling parents to boycott the movie, even if their kids begged to see it. She was not playing around.
I would highly advise that you boycott this film, no matter how much your children love Snow.
And just when things couldn't get any more heated, Rachel Zegler added more fuel to the fire. She posted a video basically saying, if you disagree with this sentiment, I don't need your business. Thanks. Talk about doubling down.
And if you disagree with this sentiment, I don't need your business. Thanks.
The Snow White chaos has gone from bad to worse, and Disney is definitely feeling the heat. The reboot, which was supposed to be their big magical hit, is now turning into a full-blown crisis. Pictures are surfacing online showing empty theaters, with primetime slots having 0 bookings. Not a single soul showed up. Ouch. Disney execs were banking bait on this one, dropping over $270 million into the film, hoping it would bring in at least $100 million right out of the gate. But reality had other plans. Despite having stars like Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot on the poster, the movie barely managed to scrape together $87.3 million globally, with only $43 million coming from US audiences. The slow start can be blamed on the wave of negative reviews and the growing backlash that's haunted the film since day one. What was meant to be a fairy tale comeback is now shaping up to be a box office horror story. One Twitter user posted, "Opening Friday night for Disney Snow White in IMAX. Only one person bought tickets for tonight." Along with that was a photograph of the cinema booking screen showing just a single seat reserved. Ouch. One of the biggest reasons people are dragging the film, the whole woke makeover. Instead of the classic 7 dwarfs we all grew up with, Disney rebranded them as a group of magical creatures. Let's just say that did not sit well with a lot of fans. Now here's the tea. Rumors are swirling about serious tension between Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot over the Israel-Palestine conflict. Gal, being Israeli, has openly supported her country, while Rachel stirred the pot by posting "Free Palestine" on Instagram. That move apparently didn't sit well with Disney, who reportedly asked Rachel to delete the post, but she refused to back down. Things got so tense that Disney allegedly had to assign someone to monitor her social media posts, like a full-on babysitter. Yikes. And of course, the critics jumped in, tearing into her from all directions. But wait, that's still not the end of it. When Donald Trump was reelected as the 47th president of the US, Rachel did not hold back. She hopped on social media, went on a full-blown rant, and let's just say she didn't sugarcoat a thing. After spilling her frustration in several solid paragraphs, she ended with a mic drop moment that had people cringing. She wrote, "May Trump supporters and Trump voters and Trump himself never know peace."
You are not entitled to call for Trump supporters to be harmed. Like, you are actually not entitled to do that. And so let me just remind you, Rachel Zegler, of what the map looks like, just so you can understand when your Disney movie is coming out, how many people you are wishing harm upon. Like, this is America right now.
Despite all the backlash, Rachel Zegler seems completely unbothered, like 0 care is given. While the internet practically drags her every day and even national TV hosts throw shade, Rachel is out here acting like it's just another Tuesday. It's almost as if she's saying, "Say whatever you want, I'm still booked and busy." And honestly, she's not just showing it through her attitude. Her social media is radiating confidence too. Just recently, she posted a picture of her Snow White movie poster on Instagram and captioned it, "#1 movie in the world." Bold move, right? Especially with all the controversy swirling around. But if there's one thing Rachel's making clear, it's that the hate isn't slowing her down anytime soon. Despite the backlash, Snow White has still managed to work in Rachel Zegler's favor. In fact, despite all the controversy surrounding it, the film has officially earned the title of her second highest grossing movie. While Snow White may have become incredibly divisive with its update of the 1937 classic, as reported by The Numbers, it has indeed secured this spot for Rachel. However, Disney's latest live-action remake has been a letdown in terms of box office performance, having one of the worst openings compared to other Disney remakes. Though the film earned $87 million in its first 3 days, Snow White's poor reviews and the ongoing discourse around it are pushing it toward continued losses, which is becoming progressively worrisome. This poor performance could have major ramifications for Rachel Zegler's career moving forward. But Candace Owens still has more to say about Rachel. She said,
"You just can't close your mouth. You just can't be sane, even when you do open your mouth. I think this girl does not deserve a feature-length film, but rather she deserves to be in a padded cell."
Disney execs are totally freaking out right now. Word is, layoffs are on the table, and everything behind the scenes is getting scrambled. The Snow White remake has been scrapped left and right, and this entire disaster has completely killed the vibe. Now, insiders are saying they're rethinking everything. The losses are expected to hit around $150 million, especially when factoring in all the marketing costs. It's a full-on mess, and as for Rachel Zegler, her name is practically mud at this point. People admit she's got talent, but her attitude? A total disaster. Nobody wants to work with her anymore. Her woke rants and sense of entitlement have turned her into a liability. Disney's already making plans to push the movie straight to streaming, but the bad press isn't going anywhere. She's become the butt of every joke. Rachel Zegler, more like the fairy tale destroyer. This whole thing went from a fairy tale to a full-on catastrophe, and it's not over yet. Disney picks this cocky newbie who openly trashes the original movie, runs her mouth constantly, and comes across as rude and entitled. She kicks off fights, angers the fans, and totally changes the dwarfs into CGI nonsense. Then she gets into a beef with Gal Gadot, and the movie tanks, just $87 million against a $200 plus million budget. Now, Zegler's career is hanging by a thread. Disney's out millions, looking like they made a huge mistake. Fans, yeah, they're done. Some are mad about her race, others about her attitude, and everyone's frustrated with the mess. Meanwhile, Gal Gadot's chilling, and Zegler's become the joke. Can she recover? Will Disney give up on these remakes? One thing's for sure, this isn't the happy ending anyone was hoping for. It's a harsh wake-up call showing how easily a beloved story can go off the rails when you mess with the wrong formula.